Hello and welcome to Stateside here on Politics Social. I'm joined by Mikey Famine. How you doing, Mikey Famine? You alright, mate?
Hello.
You okay?
How are y'all?
Yeah,
What's up?
I don't know. What's been happening? I haven't been watching anything of the American things last couple of months, so you might need to fill me in. What's going on over there?
I've I've been watching your side of the pond. You're gonna have President Nigel Farage.
No. Don't say
Yes.
that. You've already
You
jinxed
guys are
it
gonna
enough.
get you're gonna get rid of your parliament and you're gonna have a president too.
No,
And
we're
we'll
not
get
going
you
to
a
have a
constitution.
president.
You're
That's
gonna
not
have a
going to happen.
revolution, Graham.
We're not having a revolution.
You're gonna
We're
get
far
what we
too
have.
boring and the weather's not good enough. We have shit weather here. It's always raining. No one
That
wants to
means
go
that
out.
everyone will be
And
compliant. They'll just like whatever.
everyone will be
Fine.
complaining. They'll be like, oh,
President,
it's a bit
fine.
wet. It's a bit wet. Right, we have MH Kara in the chat. We've got Darren Christian. We've got Sarah Davis. Hi, Sarah. We've got Duke Vengeance.
Sarah.
We've got Billy Kishore and Yoni.
Hello, Billy.
And we've also got
Hello.
Kieran, David, and
Karen.
Greg
Nathan.
and Diz. Hello, everybody.
Greg
I'm
and
Graham
Diz.
Hughes. And this is Mikey Famine. And we're going to be talking about what's happening in the States. So, what's the latest developments? You must know something was happening.
I know this isn't going to take over every network like a certain CEO meeting his demise, but there's been yet another school shooting at a Christian school
Oh, shit.
with 10 casualties probably about 2 hours ago.
Oh,
Let's see if it gets
Christ.
this. Let's see if it gets the same coverage as the CEO. Let's just see.
No, I
Let's
doubt it.
wait and see.
Unless it, yeah. I mean, I think the CEO, the reason why it got so much coverage is a lot of people sort of were like, there was a big outpouring of emotion,
Yeah,
negative emotion, towards these
Glee.
health insurance companies who have been screwing over the American people for decades, but
Yeah.
none more so than that particular one. Was it United Healthcare that he worked for, which has
Yeah.
an AI bot, or as we call it
That's
here
what-
on this
that's
channel,
what-
a
that's-
robot
that's
that gets everything wrong.
That's what got him his like whatever $1 million bonus was. He was the one that implemented the AI.
Oh,
and
was
the
he?
It was him. He was the one that
Oh
implemented
my
the AI for the
God.
denial of the claims. So I think they had a 33%, 34%
Yeah.
approval rate. They were just saying no to everything. Everything. And that's because a real person never looked at someone's claim.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They just sent you out the same AI
Delay.
chat
Delay.
GPT.
Delay.
Yeah. So I told everyone that AI was bad. And they say, beep, 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 beep. You're just worried about music. No. AI is bad forever.
Yes, because it
We
gets
are
everything wrong.
humans.
It gets
We are-
everything wrong. I can't stress to everyone, right, how shit AI is. Like, I mean, it's okay for doing a small amount of work. So if you want like the blurb written for a YouTube video that you're doing, you can say, this is what we're going to be talking about, write the blurb, and it'll do it really quickly. Fine. One paragraph. It'll just about get that right, so that'll give you
How
American
hard is it to
spelling.
write one paragraph? How hard?
But if you
Do
give
the
it
work. We are
anything more
humans,
than
damn
that,
it.
if you
We
give it
are
anything more than
humans.
that, 3 instances where I've just gone mad with it. One, I was trying to get it to go through my old travel videos and just tell me what was in the footage, because each video is an hour long and there's literally over
Jeez.
350 of them. Can't be asked doing it myself. Just put the URL in and said, look at this video, tell me what happens in the video. Tell me where I am, tell me the date, tell me, basically what happens. And it would just make shit up, Mikey. It would literally make stuff up. It would go, in this video, Graham is in the South American country of Paraguay. And I go and look, I go, that's not right. And I go and look at it. I'm in fucking like Nepal or something. I'm surrounded by Buddhist temples. I'm like, where'd you get that from? And then I tried to get it to.
It's never traveled.
I was
know.
I was applying for this BBC writers thing that they sometimes open up, and you can send in a script that you've written. And the only copy I had of this script was on PDF, and I needed it to be formatted correctly in the program that I use. And I used the program to basically transpose it over, and it worked for most of the elements. So it would say, this is a block of text, this is the name of a character, this is the. But for some reason, it kept put these mad spaces in the middle of words down the right-hand side of the page. So there'll be a word like going, but it would be like G space O N and O I N G, right? And so I put it through ChatGPT and said, "Can you go through the script and get rid of all the errant spaces, all the spaces that are wrong and shouldn't be in there?" and oh my god, Mikey, it just couldn't do it. It either didn't do it and said I've done it, or it would take out all the spaces, like literally every space.
whole thing.
So it just got like one word that was like 120 pages long, and it was just like, oh my god, just do what I said. If there is a word, if there's words which are misspelled, which obviously if you put them together they make a word, change. And honestly, I must have spent about 3 hours. It would have been quicker for me to just go through the script and do it myself.
See? We are humans.
Infuriating.
Use your brains. We're gonna have to
infuriating.
We're gonna have to lose some convenience and do a little bit more stuff manually.
Yes.
Okay.
So
we
then
can handle it.
Yesterday, right? Well, actually on Saturday, I was like, oh, I'll do a quiz of the week, right? I thought, hey, it takes ages to write up a quiz, right? So I thought I'll go on ChatGPT and I'll say, and I pay for it. Do you know what I mean? I've got the one that you pay for, so it's not even like the freebie one that everyone else uses. And I say, make a quiz based on this week's news. And honestly, it came up with 50 questions, and 49 of them were wrong. 49 of them, Mikey. That is a hit rate that you couldn't even do if you were trying. It was just, yeah. And Yodi's saying it's a large language model, Graham. It doesn't understand words. Yes, it's a robot that gets everything wrong. It's basically fancy predictive text, but it's absolutely, even if you spoon feed it, it's useless. But yeah,
but that's what he was using to deny people's, cancer treatments. Like, nah, that was your last round of chemo. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Old 8-ball over here said that was the last one you get. So
do you think? Because we were talking about this the other day on the Sunday roast. I was saying it's a bit like the trolley problem, isn't it? Do you kill one person to save countless other lives?
I see it a different way. If you continually drip poison into the lake, and then you take your cup and you take a sip of that lake, and you don't go down, all right, you got away with it. But you keep dripping. These people have put more poison than water in the lake.
Yes.
It is only so long that they cannot catch up with whatever is coming to them for all of their bad deeds. If there was one dude running around responsible for, I don't know, 15, 20,000 deaths in the country, and he was just walking around just normal, everybody would jump that guy. He would be a villain.
Yeah.
This guy took out a villain. That's not my problem.
But
do you think
this is gonna?
I have concepts of condolences.
Do you think that that there's going to be copycats on this? I mean, the CEOs are obviously worried. They've taken their faces down off the websites. They're employing security now. They obviously don't know about the Wayback Machine, but
I hope no one goes on the Wayback Machine like before. I don't know, what was that, December 1st?
What's the company that's responsible for the opioid epidemic in America? Isn't there one company that's made like a shitload of money? That makes.
Well, I have never understood how pharmaceutical drugs. Like, why are you making so many? And they're just like, oh no, we just always make 13,000 times more than the patients we have. We just have all this extra.
Yeah.
Well, these guys they're drug dealers. Like, what are we talking about? We know what this is.
Yes, so they're pushing addictive drugs onto people who don't need them. Hence the opioid epidemic.
I had an opioid issue. I had a Vicodin issue. That's because they were too strong. They don't even sell them like that anymore. They had to lower the milligrams because they were so great.
Wow.
Just great. But they don't even make those anymore for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
Because these people are literal drug dealers.
So you got them.
And all the medicine you can't get because they want to,
Yeah. So you got the insurance companies. You've got the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
But then you've also got the gun manufacturers and stuff like that. Will anyone go after them? I mean, they'll be pissed, wouldn't they? Would they? I don't know.
They always sit in this invulnerable spot because everybody kind of wants to keep them around, because I keep trying to warn y'all, the left is not unarmed. We're just respectable. Okay? We don't talk about such things in good company. But it's, as much as people want gun reform, they don't know who to trust to carry it out.
Yeah.
right? Like they don't know who's going to be the one that just pulls everybody's everything away from them, or just says, "Hey, it's been a rough divorce for you. Your buddies kind of said you should go in and get a review done." No one wants to meet in the middle on anywhere on that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, most of those guns, it's not even like I know America has a lot of gun crime, but who do you like Mexico's cartel problem? They're only a cartel problem because they have our guns.
Yes,
Like, and that's something
and
cloudy,
they're
and that's
supplying your
something,
drugs as well.
right?
You know, if it
And
was
that's
Guatemala that had an addiction to cocaine, it wouldn't be such an issue. But you've got 330 million people in America, and a fuckload of them are addicted.
yeah.
And
Well,
Mexico's pig in the middle, isn't it? It's got all the guns coming down from the north and all the drugs coming up from the south.
and then
What do you think's gonna happen?
and then the chemicals are coming from overseas into Mexico to make the fentanyl that the Americans, well, that the cartel will escort to the Americans, who will then take it over the border. Meanwhile, the people who are fleeing, the drug dealers even further south, and the horrible regimes even further south, them just fleeing, they're the ones that are accused of being the drug mules.
Yep,
And it's like,
it's the way it works,
hope,
man.
So I hope the tariffs that I don't even know if Mexico buys guns from us or allows sales of guns from us anymore. I gotta go watch their news because she's pissed. Like
Yeah.
that, like she's young and fiery already, and 2 weeks in the office, she gets to deal with a bully. She's ready.
Who's this?
And
Sorry.
Scheinbaum, the Mexican president.
Oh yeah, the Mexican president. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, let's fucking do this. You want to dance, big boy? Come on, come on. Because all of our food is all of our fresh produce that we really really enjoy here is from like 80% of it is from Mexico,
Yeah.
or it comes through Mexico.
Purdue.
So
Purdue is the name of the. Thank you, Kevin.
there you
Yeah,
go.
Purdue is the name of the company that makes money out of the
The
opioid
pharma.
epidemic. Yeah, and this is. I mean, there are so many companies in America that literally make money out of killing Americans, and
Yeah.
the tide has got to turn. I think, and what I feel as well is I think it was very telling because the same people who were like, "Oh, this is an awful thing that this CEO's been shot," were also the people who thought it was funny when Paul Pelosi got attacked with a hammer. They were the people who were saying that the January 6th rioters were just there on a day trip. It was a lovely day. It was a day of love.
They acquitted that asshole who choked out
Yes.
the subway performer.
Yeah.
It's the same day. They let him go.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same
And
day they
and
caught- the
Kyle
same day they
Rittenhouse, who went
Same day they
from
caught Luigi.
he went to another state to
freed him.
murder black people, and he killed two
Yeah.
black people and got away with it. And they have
Yeah.
a big celebration on
He's
stage and
big on
bring
the
him
he's
out.
big on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept trying to go to different colleges and they kept they kept kicking him out. So he couldn't go to college, so he's just a grifter on the right now.
But it's the leopards eating people's faces again because these people have courted the violent lunatics, and now the violent lunatics. We mentioned this the other week. We said that they're going to be given free reign to just do what the fuck they want.
Can't put the crazy back in the bottle.
No, it's out now. It's out now. Unfortunately, our feed keeps stopping, and that's not great. Sorry about that, Sarah.
It's
we're getting too close
to the truth.
Yeah, I think we are, mate. I think we are. I was having
That
trouble
happens
earlier
sometimes.
today as well. I don't know. Maybe it's just teething problems back in Durham. But yeah, I'll turn I've turned the volume, not the volume. I've turned the quality down a bit. But we've lost 25.7% of our frames, which is very careless. If that was a picture dealer or an optician, they'll be in trouble. Okay, so everyone's talking about how the stream's not working.
Sorry.
Yes. Jup says that if the milligram thing was the problem, you should use imperial stuff for drugs. There you go, mate. No milligrams.
Yeah, that's the issue. Metrics.
Yeah. That's the one. So, the picks that Trump has chosen so far are fucking mental. And with the exception of Matt Gaetz, who's disgracefully dropped out.
He's unemployed.
Yeah.
Oh no, he just got picked up by somebody to be on somebody's show. They gave him like a couple $1 million contract somewhere. I'm like, okay, then he'll disappear. Got it, got it.
Do you think that these picks are going to go through? Most of them.
Who knows? He may not even have a majority. Like they're real. Like I knew it would be bad, but this is just like the funny part of the bad, where the Fuhrer and his little regime, they can't get it together. Like they're not very competent. So
Yes, that's the
I think,
salvation of all this is the incompetence of these people in charge of America. If they were competent, I'd be scared, but they're completely
and
incompetent.
and to get these picks through, he's gonna need all of his people in Congress, all the Red Wingers. Red Wingers, I like that. The Red
Ooh,
Wingers in Congress. He's
yeah.
gonna need them to help force these people through. If you don't give them lower gas prices, if you don't give them groceries, if you don't drop rent, if you don't increase wages, if you don't do all the things you said, which is impossible, you're cooked.
But he's
Because
already
these people are
said,
going to
hasn't he?
get
But he's already said that he doesn't care about people's grocery bills. He's not going to fix that. He said he's not going to fix it.
right. So you see how they were like upset about their health care? Fuck with the groceries if you want to. I'm not saying I'm not advocating for shit. I'm just saying that is a brave move.
Uh,
That is a brave move to promise people
yeah.
salvation, yet offer them famine. Good luck, because they will always eat. Who and what that is up to you.
Vendetta says that Robert Kennedy has posted his dinner and it was raw mince mixed with cheese, which explains the brain worm. Because you want
Raw
worms,
what?
that's how you get worms. That's literally how you get worms. You know,
Raw what?
undercooked meat, raw mince meat, like
Ground beef?
ground beef. You would call it ground beef.
What the? Do not let him in the White House. Don't let him touch anything.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got he's got ick that we don't even know what it's called yet. Don't put him anywhere near anything.
So, in the House of Representatives, you need 218, is it, for a majority?
Mhm.
And I think are all the results in now, and the GOP, the Genital Obsessed Party, has got 220. So it's only got
Right.
two more seats than it needs.
They had like 5 or 6, and then he started appointing people. And MAGA Mike is it? The Speaker of the House is like, dude, seriously, stop, dude.
Because he was taking people from the House of Representatives, wasn't he?
Yes, because he's so stupid. Those are the people you don't touch. Your majority is too tight. You don't touch. He doesn't know politics. He
Yeah, he
doesn't
doesn't know
know that
anything.
there's different
He knows how to
branches. He
shit
doesn't
himself
get
in
it.
the Notre Dame though. There should be a little
Oh,
plaque there, a little brown plaque. It says Donald Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, shat himself here.
a
Uh,
little orange poop
December.
emoji.
Yeah, a little poop emoji
Little
on
orange
the
one.
plaque. December 2024. He shat his pants and everyone went, oh. So
The
are
organ photo?
there
What is that? So
can I get
low.
this right? So they only need one. Am I right in thinking if they've only got two seats, right? Two seats. They only need one person. Am I right in thinking this to vote the other way? Oh no, because then
So,
it would be
well,
two ones.
let's say that there's let's say the Democrats need to or anyone needs to convince 5. You just
Mm,
need 5. And if people are in a purplish kind of area and it's
yeah,
kind of gray middle, that's how you. Mhm. The Empire Strikes Back, baby. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is gonna suck. I have no pretense that this is not going to be a
well, this was
bone-shattering
this
experience for all of us. But
somewhat
again,
ironically.
these guys are not good at politics. They can be out-politicked because they didn't read the Constitution.
Mm, but they've got a bit of a majority in the Senate, haven't they? Got 53
Yeah.
seats out of the 100 in the Senate, so they're
Yeah.
going to be appointing and approving judges left, right, and centre.
They're gonna
That's
try.
that's going to worry. That's got to be a worry, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, America's already kind of racist. So I like everyone's like, oh, now it's gonna turn to no, no, no. That's why a lot of us live in blue areas because the rest of the country is already like this. It's already been this shitty. You guys get like the Fox News and the CNN
Mm,
version. No, no, no. If I go 100 miles south of me, out past Springfield and all that shit, like out in the farm countries, there are sundown towns. There are crooked, judge and sheriff combinations who are pillaging the town left and right. Like that's normal
yeah, yeah,
in most America. There's like um that good old boys Republican grift that's going on blanketly across rural America. They think it's good because it's their guy. So then
right.
if a stranger comes in and says, you guys need to do this to take care of the people, they say, shut your ass up, foreigner. You ferner. You goddamn ferner, get out of here. Um, but that's to their detriment, and no one cares because no one wants to live out there anyway.
Yeah.
So all the cool people congregate towards the cities, and then what do you know? They end up turning out blue. What do you know? They become wildly successful. They have lots of money. Everybody wants to come there. The tourism is through the roof, and then those big
Mm,
cities, i.e., Chicago, end up funding the whole rest of the racist state.
yeah.
And they can keep being racist. It's fine. We'll pay for your shit like we always do, but we're going to keep doing the right thing and out earning you like we always do. California has the fifth largest GDP on earth. Do you really want to kick them out of the union, Donald Trump? Can you make it
But
with no money from fucking
he's
California?
he's stupid enough to think that he can. But yeah, it's
When they show him that number and he's like, but
yeah, but he doesn't understand. He's thick as pig shit. Like he's
maybe if
really,
they
really
show
fucking
him
stupid. Like
Maybe if they show him sandbags of different weights, it's like, this is the money. This is what we'll lose. And then they pour it out, and then he can hold it and see that it's
mm.
lighter.
Well, we're
There's
talking
less.
about the incompetence of the people in elected office, but what about the people behind Project 2025? What about the Peter Thiels of the world who, I hate them, but they've got a bit of nous about them. They do know what they're doing. Does that worry you? Does that?
Oh, they're looting.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
absolutely.
the the looting of the empire has begun.
Oh yeah,
Like now that
the
now that
solution of
the
the monasteries.
now that all the cathedrals on top of the mountain are burning, the rats are down in the larder eating everything. That's why they're trying to deregulate everything. They want to pillage. They
Yeah,
want to take as much cash as they can because they've never really been able, thanks Joe Biden, you fuck, for not getting rid of those Trump tax cuts. That was that wedge in the door that they needed because they're like, oh my God, I think he's gonna do it, dude. I think he's gonna actually deregulate our shit. And they're just dumped all the money on him. It's like, come on, stupid, do it. And here comes stupid again, coming around the final
yeah.
turn. And they are going to take everything they can, everything not stapled down. They're gonna take.
Well, this
And
actually
it's gonna be
benefits
hard. It's
most
gonna be hard to
Americans,
pry it out of their mouth. It's gonna be
Mikey.
hard to pry it out of their
Will
mouth.
this benefit most Americans? Because most Americans are in debt. So if America sort of these big financial institutions fail because of Bitcoin or whatever, then they don't owe that
The
debt
government,
anymore. I
the
guess.
government, if they fail, the government will prop them back up just like they did the banks in 2008.
But they don't have the money. They won't have the money. How will they? I mean,
They'll borrow more. They'll print
sure,
more and they'll
sure.
borrow more, and inflation will go up just like they did before.
Why don't the the Republicans ever get hit over the head by stuff like the national debt? It was a huge problem under Obama. Like everyone talked about the national debt all the time, like it was the worst possible thing imaginable. And when Trump got in the first time, no one mentioned it. Do you know what I mean? It was.
Because it's not his fault. It's Obama's debt.
Hey, do you know when I said the first time that just struck a little note of cold
Hmm.
fury inside me. There's a bit in Doctor Who where he goes back to World War One, and he goes, "Oh, where am I?" And he goes, "Oh, it's 1914." He goes, "Oh, I must be in World War One." He went, "World War One," because
Oh, right.
obviously, he'd gone back in time. And I'm feeling that now. Imagine going to the Americans. Oh yeah, the first time he got in. Yeah,
Yeah. Or the first recession or the first bubble or the like all of these bubbles are just literally moments where the oligarchs have gotten too greedy on the governmental lever. Like they tweak the knob to get a little extra out of the tap for themselves, and then the whole, the dike is burst, and then everybody has to come together with sandbags and put it back together. It's because these guys are pinching off the top.
Do you think
This will continue to be cyclical, and there will continue to be this outrage until the healthcare system is single payer, because they just can't be trusted. We can't have an open market here because you guys can't be trusted.
Yes.
You don't provide the service that you say that you're going to provide.
Yep.
You keep all the money.
They try and cheat. They try and cheat. They try and keep, the thumb on the scale, slip the money under the monopoly boards.
And then they charge these ridiculous prices when someone's on Medicare or Medicaid or something like that. When they know that the government's paying for it, it's quadruple in price. And it's the same thing with the arms dealers. Sorry guys, I think these are very middle of the road things, but that would be seen as super far left. We're done with defense contractors. We were sending stuff to Ukraine. They took the I forget, what was it, Hellraiser or Stinger or something missile. It was like 25 grand in the 90s. And then now it's 395 grand.
Wow.
Dude, fuck you. It's
I've seen that about the healthcare in America, where everything just costs an absolute fortune.
They just literally rip us off for no fucking reason.
People
other
go,
than, what are you gonna do?
People go, yeah, but we don't want it to be in the UK, because you're fed these horror stories about the NHS in the UK, which aren't true. I mean,
we are not afraid of that. We can wait.
There are a few people. No, there's people who've had bad experiences on the NHS. There's people who've had good experiences, and it all depends on where you are, what happens to you, whether the Tories have been in charge for 14 years. But generally speaking, I've always had a very good service on the NHS. I've been very lucky. I know that. I've just been in the right place at the right time, I guess. But the fact that I went into the doctor's a few months ago and said I was having pains in my chest, and they were like, we need to get an ambulance to the hospital now, and you'll be seen straight away, an x-ray. And I was like, I don't need an ambulance. Catherine, my partner, she's outside, she can drive me in there. And okay, but you can't drive. And we drove to the hospital, and literally within 10 minutes, I was x-rayed. Yeah. Because they were like, right, this is urgent, we need to do this. And I've got friends who have gone through much worse than me, who have had not great experiences in the NHS. And yes, it could do better. But generally speaking, it's a good system because no one goes bankrupt. It costs so much less than the American system. So, for example, Medicaid and Medicare put together, the amount that the Americans spend on that per person. So this isn't to do with the fact that your population is 5 times ours. Per person is more than what we spend on the whole of the NHS, keeping everyone safe. And that's just it's so wasteful. And it's because you guys are spending so much on medicine, procedures, equipment. You see, it's price gouging 10 times the amount.
And people won't go, right? And then so when people wait until it's catastrophic, that's a huge bill. When instead they could have taken, a couple of appointments, got some antibiotics and a steroid. And now they don't need that, the ER visit, the ambulance, they don't need all of that stuff now. Now the ER trip is completely avoided because there's preventative, people are sick and they just walk around sick, and then they work sick, and then they work a second job sick. Yeah. And then the Democrats come up, look at how great the economy is. It's fuck you.
But no, you got a good point. I mean, the shit people eat, that makes them sick. The worry about finances, that stress, that makes people sick. People with communicable diseases feeling they have to go into work, that makes more people sick. And I mean, look, we have the same problems over here with that side of things. And we do have a national sickness service over here, in that it'll cure you if you're sick, maybe, and patch you back together again if you've broken something. But it's not really a health service. What we could do with is things like a proactive campaign for people to get checked out, at the age of 40 and up or whatever each year. And then the doctor can prescribe them a discount on vegetables and fruit for the rest of the year, or whatever it is, some kind of incentive to eat healthily because it's cheaper than buying the junk food. But what they try and do over here, I don't know what they're doing in the US, but they go, we'll make the junk food more expensive. And I'm like, yeah, but the rest of the food's really expensive. So all you're doing there is meaning that people eat less shit food, but it means they eat less food. Full stop.
Right.
And we've got a huge problem over here at the moment with malnutrition. So, for instance, the height of our 5-year-olds, there was a big story about this last year. The height of our 5-year-olds is just stayed the same. It's actually got smaller overall on average since like the 90s. And other countries nearby, like France and Germany, their 5-year-olds are much taller because they're eating better food. They're getting better nutrition than the kids on average in the UK. And another problem we've got in the UK is the biggest metric in whether you're going to have a good healthcare outcome or not is where you live. It's simply where you live.
So it's funny you mentioned the nutrition part, because with RFK and his brain worm, both of them running, they should have two name plaques on the desk. RFK Jr., brainworm 1. When you go after people's sustenance, right? When you say, "Oh, I'm gonna put raw milk everywhere," okay, that's not a great idea. But then when you want to go after foods you don't like,
Yeah,
and just and I'm gonna start disrupting markets, because that's one thing about full disclaimer, I was in the grocery industry for 15 plus years. I know a bit about the way food gets from where it is to your mouth. And let me tell you, they don't like it when any kind of government agency starts sticking their thumb in there, because these contracts that they have are years long, right? Like these things are multiple year deals that they kind of have to, give a little, take a little along the way, because shipping produce is not a 100% thing. Like you don't put 100 bananas in a box and then you have 100 bananas when you take it out of the box.
Yeah,
it's a very complicated, wasteful shipping thing, but they got it nailed down.
Yeah,
do not
as
mess
as
with
efficient
that.
as they can possibly make it.
Yes.
It's interesting you say that, because we tend to think of like products like tomato ketchup or Marmite or whatever as just being this sort of eternal thing that can always be made all year round. But there is seasonal differences, and you need to get stock from different places throughout the year, and you need to make it taste the same no matter where that stock has come from. And that's an interesting problem for food technicians around the world who produce, especially with processed food, to make it all taste the same in every bottle, everywhere in the world. Or everywhere in the country, I suppose, because we do have different ingredients depending on which country it can be sold in. But that thing of supply and demand, and this is something, the other day I was talking about Brexit. Like we have done what you guys have done now, re-electing Trump. We did it with Brexit. We knew it was going to be bad for the country, and yet we did it anyway. Maybe we were just bored. We were just bored.
Stability is boring.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's mature. It's supposed to be boring.
Well, so people complaining about Keir Starmer being boring, and I'm like, I'm glad he's boring. I want the person in charge to be boring.
Welcome.
I don't want, some flamboyant showman to be in charge of the economy. Makes no sense to me.
Go watch fucking Luther if you want some excitement. You're like, go do something with your life. Don't gamble.
Alice. Oh no, Alice. What you? Oh, Alice. Oh.
What are we gonna do, Alice?
Oh, Alice. What have you done?
Alice.
What have you done, Alice?
What are you doing to me?
Our terrible Idris Elba impressions.
Wayne is over there like flopping on the floor, like no, you got it wrong.
It's fucking diabolical. He doesn't half sound like fucking Butcher from.
That's him.
I think they modelled, because he's not a Brit. The guy who plays Butcher, he's an Australian, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think they modelled his accent on Wayne. It's just a bit too uncanny, isn't it?
He was watching. He's a big wrestling fan, and he was watching Wayne on the wrestling podcast he likes. He's like, that accent.
That's the one. There. That's the one. Billy Butcher, whatever his name is.
Billy Butcher.
Ernie Burns talking about the Republicans. It's their arrogance that actually is their weakness, as they're unable to correct their mistakes when they won't admit to them, which is very true. But okay, so with the banning of vaccines, that looks like it's on the horizon. So that's going to be polio coming back.
Who votes for polio? What?
Republicans vote for polio.
What?
They want the COVID pandemic again because it killed all the right people, I think.
Hey,
With the tariffs that Trump is planning to put on China and Mexico and Canada and every other country, like, is America going to survive this, mate? Are they? Are they really going? Because I've called this
I'm
video "Welcome to the Trumpocalypse." I think this is it. I think this is
so
endgame, mate.
here's how I think a couple of dominoes are gonna fall.
Okay.
With with the oil in Canada, I think that's fine. Whatever. I don't think that's gonna actually be a thing because oil companies, again, they have long-term contracts and deals and they do things on a very long timeline. They're going to largely ignore this. But the steel guys, hey Ford, Ford supported Trump.
Did they?
Yep.
Well, that makes sense because Henry Ford was a Nazi.
So, I mean, Nazi is Nazi does. It's going to be rough for Ford to, get their steel, build some of their or no, they take the steel and then that goes to Mexico, right? For
Mm.
some of the later labor, and then that goes back up to Detroit for some of the other. We like
Tariffs.
all of our yeah, you're tariffing them double time on all of our domestic car companies, all of those workers, they're gonna feel that. Hold on to your feelings. Don't say
Yeah.
nothing. Just grit and bear it, buddy, because this is what you want when there's like no shifts for nobody,
Yeah.
because no cars are getting made because no steel came in this week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. When no avocados come in from Mexico, that's the problem. Um,
Well, also, I mean, the other thing is going to be the immigration
it will be
situation where.
crippling and unavoidable.
So there was a state in America, I think it might have been Georgia, I could be wrong, but they decided to get rid of all the illegal immigrants in the state. You know, they had the big program to try and get rid of everyone. So everyone went to some other state. And what it meant was there was just no one to like work the fields. Like there was no one to do the grunt
Correct.
jobs. And they tried to get criminals, to try to get convicts to go and do this really, really hard work in the fields. And they were like, fuck this.
No,
And they just didn't
put me
work.
back in jail.
And they just didn't work. And the economy of Georgia took this massive, massive hit. A hit that was just based on xenophobia and racism. But yeah, okay. So that your dominoes. Are you saying that there's the oil
The bit
companies, the car companies? What are they going to do? They're going to assassinate Trump. They're going to have to sit grin and bear it, aren't they?
How?
What do you mean how?
I'm talking about and guess who's gonna be exempt from all of this?
Oh, Elon
Guess, who,
Musk.
guess who's still gonna be pumping them cyber trucks out for you?
Elon Musk.
Everybody who kisses the ring, their businesses will run. Everybody who doesn't, you're gonna be dead under these tariffs. That is going to resonate so horrible. Like it's not gonna do what he thinks it's gonna do. Because people are
Why?
already because they're not even bragging about the win, right? Like I've seen none bragging about the win because it's already starting to sink. I ain't seen one red hat. I ain't seen nobody doing the flag thing on the back of the pickup truck. Shit, I thought they paid the tariff. It's all clicking in. They're not even bragging, bro. And now they're just like defending his picks and shit like that. Like that's good luck. The media can't spin it. The
Well,
businesses are
he's
telling
also
you
gone to war with
all
the
the in-
media as well, hasn't he? Because
well, it's so funny
he's
that he
managed
lost.
to get
It's
15 million out of, was it CNN,
ABC or ABC.
for calling him a rapist when he's a rapist.
He's a sexual assaulter, which could be considered rape.
Yeah, an
So
adjudicated rapist.
Yeah. So because of that little comma in the phrasing, yeah, he gets his 15 mil. Hey, I'm glad you can tell your grandkids, hey, Papa just won his case. I'm not a rapist. I'm a sexual assaulter. Aren't you so proud,
Yeah, but
you little
70
demon?
million Americans want a rapist to be in charge of their lives
But
and their
that's the
and their
thing.
wives' lives and their daughters' lives
I
and
think
their
they're
mothers'
just
lives.
the same dominoes I was talking about. Those were the same dominoes that they were scared on, and that's what they were voting on in this election. there's a lot of auto workers. There's a lot of federal workers, like
Mm.
government, just regular government workers, municipal and all that stuff. Go ahead and start slashing and cutting and getting rid of all these jobs. And then, like with the DEI stuff, they're saying anyone who's ever had a DEI title is no longer allowed to work for the government. That's what he wants to implement. So these people, when their department is shut down, they can't just transfer to another department. He's saying they all have to just never work for the government again, like they're banned,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Good luck. Because you have to
So, but what
have
do you think?
bodies. You have to have.
But what's going to
asses and
happen? I mean, are they company? He's in charge, and like he's been given these extraordinary powers by the Supreme Court. Like, so what if they all turn against him? He can't run again.
Okay.
He doesn't
You
need to
froze
win
there.
another election, does he?
I don't care about him. I missed most of your comment. It froze on me.
Oh, sorry. I was
Can
just
you give me a little quick rundown?
yeah. My internet connection is unstable, apparently. Thank you very much for that message that just came up on my screen. Yeah, you're saying that like people will realize that the companies will realize everyone's going to go, oh my god. But what can they actually do to Trump? Because he's got 4 years in office. There's very few ways of getting rid of a prime president, really, in reality, especially if you can't get Congress on board with that idea, and you won't be able to even with a slender Republican minority. So I mean, what does he care? What does he give a fuck? Why these companies will turn against him and say, "Oh, we don't like you, Trump." He's never going to run for election again.
You can't rule out mutiny. Because again, he is not worried about anything. Everyone that's supporting him on the state level does. Like they do have to win their next seat. They do have to win the next thing. And if all of them are just getting shit on 24/7 for supporting this guy, look, dude, the whole so either you wear him as a badge or you use him as a shield. Which one is it?
Do you think they'll continue to have elections in America in 2 years' time?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't see how he's going to stop us.
Well, you can just ignore them.
He doesn't. He is not. He doesn't have the force. You know what I mean? Like he can't be he's not a god. He can't be everywhere at once. He can't control every state. He doesn't control everything. He runs his mouth and then he can implement tax issues that help people. Like that's what his main concern is. If he tries to like command and conquer every single state, he is not built for that. And it ain't going to work. Like it doesn't work like that.
I understand like on a state by state level, I'm sure California is going to keep on having elections, but if California has an election for a senator or for a member of the House of Representatives and Trump decides I'm not going to accept this person, like
that's not how it works. He doesn't have a say. He's not in that conversation. He doesn't get to just come up and start inserting himself into conversations that he's not in.
Hasn't the Supreme Court given him the authority to do that, though?
No, that's not an official act under any like no one would say that the president's job is to get rid of Congress people he doesn't like. No one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have you seen Marjorie Taylor Greene? I'm pretty sure she would agree with that.
She is so sad. She didn't get picked for anything. Trump had this big old campaign. She got on stage like 1.5 times. Like she's been this big old fan this whole time, and she's just always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yoni's saying, I'm surprised the GOP survived his first presidency. The second one would be a real challenge. I don't know if I agree with that. I honestly think that some people are just sadomasochists. They like being miserable. They like things being shit because it gives them something to complain about. It makes their life more interesting. It gives them more of a life story. It's why whenever you talk to anyone who's rich in this country, they'll always tell you about their working class upbringing in the private school they went to somehow. But they've always got to have like a tale of woe, haven't they? It's kind of
because they want to be the underdog.
Yeah.
Right. They like to be that because in their version of through their perspective, they are the underdog. They are fighting against the powers that be to get what they need. And that's something that needs to be recognized.
Yeah.
Not in the way that the last time the Democrats did it, which is just brag about how the corporate CEOs are doing the best that they've ever done. But it needs to be said in a way where it's like, yeah, Your problem is billionaires, not poor people.
Yeah,
How
yeah, I know what
stupid
needs
are
to be
you to
done,
think
but
how stupid are you to think that poor people who don't have shit are the reason that you don't have shit? They don't have shit. Look at the dude with the freaking castle and look at the dude sleeping on a straw mat. How the hell is he your freaking problem?
because the guy in the straw mat is easier to set on fire than the guy who lives in the castle.
Well,
And
not
these
if we
people are
all
fucked up,
grab
mate.
a
These
brick,
people are fucked up, and they're
climb
lazy.
on his
You're,
shoulders,
you're
grab
dealing
some bricks.
you're dealing with, taking down the oligarchy takes effort. These people
Yeah.
are lazy. These people are so lazy they can't even be asked to think for themselves. Like, thinking is too much like hard work for these people. They want someone else, an oligarch, a billionaire, some posh kid, some gobshite on the internet to tell them what to think because they can't be asked to think for themselves. But Leslie makes a really good point. Leslie Turner in the chat. Trump can invoke a state of emergency, which gives him massive powers. And this happened during the Civil War. Elections were suspended. And it will only take one disaster, one actual real disaster, probably a man-made one because of climate change, but a state gets absolutely nuked by a hurricane, or there's a volcano explodes, or there's a massive earthquake, or whatever. Hundreds of thousands of Americans die, and then he can say, right, state of emergency, we're suspending the federal elections.
He's already gonna declare a state of emergency for the border crisis and la da da
Yes,
da.
there you go.
Okay, implement it. Do it. Because he says a lot of shit. Do it. Because it's all the lawyers are ready. Do it. Do it. The lawyers are ready and the prosecutors are ready. Do it. Everybody can't get away with everything all in the same day, all at the same time.
True, but
Everybody is ready to gum up the works. Hold on. Everybody is ready to gum up the works legally as much as they can, as frequent as they can for every single thing that he does. So that is one element that may not be publicized as much, but
yes,
just know that people are ready to challenge all of this stuff legally. And certain things the Supreme Court will say yes on and
well, that's what I
will
was going
say
to say.
no on.
Oh,
They will say yes on and they will.
I don't think they're going to say no on
It's
anything Trump wants to do. They're so
I think
far up his
but
arse. They can see the future.
well, if that's the case, then I hope they're going to be in constant communication with him because they're challenging every single thing. There's going to be
Yeah, but the Supreme Court
there's gonna be
chooses what to take on, doesn't it? And he's put so many judges on a federal level, and it's a lottery which judge you get in a case. And if you get an Eileen Cannon, they will do whatever Trump wants them to do.
His judges aren't as loyal as he thought that. He accidentally picked some all right judges. Like a couple of the Trump appointed judges are good. Like they just needed to be you know what I mean? Like they were a decent judge and he happened to do, you know what I mean? So a lot of the Trump appointed judges were judges that were ready to be appointed. He grabs them up and then claims that they're all his and they're all loyalists to him.
Yeah.
They are not all loyalists to him. Not all of them, you know? So some of those are ours.
But then there's the other issue, which Yoni's bringing up. I'm pretty sure SEAL Team 6 and political opponents came up in that hearing when they were talking about giving the president the power of the fucking, divine right, absolute monarchs of the Middle Ages to this 21st century president with nuclear weapons and a secret service and the CIA and the FBI and the Department of Justice. What? And we've had this conversation before. Like, what is stopping him from ordering some of his loonies to go out and murder his political opponents?
So the 25th Amendment is a way of deposing the president for not able to complete his duties for medical or whatever reasons.
Yes.
Dude, I'm saying, like, there are so many, like, trigger actions in our government. He didn't say he wanted to do all those things before, right? And he didn't, like, get the Muslim ban off because his people in his administration, like, that's not legal, sir. We can't do that kind of stuff. Like, if you try to
but it wasn't legal then, but now it's legal now because it's part of his official duties and he can pardon anyone.
You're not listening to the rest of my point.
Well, I haven't heard it yet.
That's the point. If you violate certain things, he does not know what the recourse is for his actions, right? So if you say, and then we do X, and that X is against, I don't know, what the Secret Service has been tasked with, or that's what all these other deep state organizations are tasked with. You better, Trump, it doesn't matter what your position is. You might end up in handcuffs anyway because they are allowed to control you. He is not the king. He still has handlers. He still has people. He still has to be told what he can and cannot do. Most of those people are his. Some of those people are able to grab the reins if things get out of control. And he needs to remember that
But
orders are orders. And he's
aren't
not
they? Isn't one of the big things that they're going to do is to strip the civil service of anyone who's disloyal to Trump, anyone who won't kiss the ring? He's surrounding himself with loonies and sycophants. Like, why would any of them turn on him? Especially if he was doing what they want to do. I mean, you told Robert F. Kennedy that Nancy Pelosi had just been put to death by Trump's death squad or whatever it's called. He'll probably wank himself silly. He's not going to say, oh, shit, you've gone too far, Trump. The guy's a fucking lunatic who murdered a bear and threw him into fucking Central Park. He's got a fucking worm in his brain and he wants to ban they've already banned abortions. They want to ban vaccinations. These people are not... I think you are thinking that they're in some way sane, and I'm trying to make the point that they're not. They're all fucking nutters.
I've never said they're sane.
Okay,
I've never implied they're
sane enough to go, Trump, you've gone too far. I don't think there's anything that Donald Trump can do that'll make Robert F. Kennedy go, oh, you've gone a bit far there, Donald. Ooh.
I'm not saying RFK. I'm saying that there are people who are staff to the White House. There are regular ass jobs that have powers to stop things. It's a very ancillary small thing. But I'm saying, like, so if Trump were to just like grab a pistol and start running around or something like that, if y'all don't think Secret Service isn't knocking his ass out and putting him back in a bunker somewhere, they're not allowed to let him get hurt, even if it's at his own behest. So there are things in place to make sure that he can't do things that he might want to do.
I'm sure he won't do the killing himself. He's too lazy. But he'll tell his lunatic fringe, the Proud Boys. He'll deputize, I guess, whatever the term is. He'll make the Proud Boys some kind of legal entity, legal law enforcement entity in America, and they will go around killing all his political opponents. And I don't see any kind of law that he will be breaking. I mean, they'll be breaking the law, but he can pardon them. He won't be breaking the law by telling them to do that, because he can say that's part of his official duties to, they'll make up something about getting rid of the enemy within or whatever.
Graham, they have to survive. They have to survive to get pardoned.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, what were the Democrats going to do? They're not their own militia.
Graham, how many times I gotta tell you that everybody is blicked up, dude? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Ain't
but
no sheep over here. What are you talking about?
I'm just thinking of that scene in Breaking Bad where he takes out all of the...
The gun violence in Chicago, the gun violence in America, the gun violence...
Yeah?
Yeah. We got guns.
Yeah, but...
So if someone's like, I'm going to roll around your neighborhood and start shooting...
Okay, so arrest them first. Arrest them first.
Arrest who?
Everyone in the Democrat Party who is an elected representative. Arrest them, put them in a jail cell, then they don't have a gun, and then kill them like he did with his bezzy mate, Jeffrey Epstein, which he totally fucking murdered in jail.
So now that we've changed subject...
No, I'm not. I'm still talking about what Trump can get away with. He's already got away with it. And I also believe that Biden only pardoned his son. I don't think he would have done that if Kamala had won. He's done that because he fears for his son's life. If his son's in jail when Trump's in charge, Trump will have him killed.
He's been enabling his kid his entire life. The Bidens can fuck off. Go live in Israel. Go away.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think that he would have pardoned him, because he was saying for ages he wouldn't pardon him, if Kamala had won. I think he's genuinely scared for his son's life.
No,
because Trump's a fucking psychopath.
Or, easily, he's a liar. He always meant to do that. He's a liar.
Okay.
Like that's the thing that I like. You keep putting the left on like the positive moral side. They're just as shite.
Oh, they're not. I mean, they're shite, but they're not as shite as Trump. Trump is world devastatingly shite. Like Trump is the new Hitler. He's fat Hitler.
Trump is not a Republican. Trump is his own little dictator thing.
Yeah, he's MAGA Republican.
Graham, really? I got to get the lecture from the Brit on fucking like MAGA is not Republican. There's nothing Republican about their entire platform.
Yes,
it's
there is.
just a cult. It's just a fucking cult.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, that's what the Republicans have always been. Fucking bunch of nutters, idiots, morons, lazy people who can't be asked thinking for themselves. Go join the Republican Party. The Democrats did not shower themselves in glory at all over the last few years. They could have done a lot more to stop this from happening. And they didn't because they were scared, I guess. I don't know.
Because they don't care. Because the people in charge of the DNC are fucking millionaires, all of them.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is one of the best insider traders ever. How do you get millions and millions of dollars on a fucking congressional salary? Bitch.
Most of them seem to be able to do that quite effectively.
Like I'm done with the bullshit.
Okay, so not even that
either one of them.
Okay, so not even the Democrats are going to stop Trump doing whatever the fuck he wants because they're just as bad. They'll just go, oh well, never mind.
My faith has never been in the right or the left. It has always been in the people.
Okay, but to go back to what we were talking about in the White House, like he said he's going to get rid of all the staff who are not loyal to him. So who's going to stand up against him? Like, surely he's just going to get rid of anyone who speaks out.
There's no way John McCain's going to vote no on getting rid of Obamacare. Dude, he's not.
No, I'm not talking about.
Aberration.
Yeah, okay,
so
fine.
That they're all going to blindly look. I'm telling you, mutiny is not out of the. It's not out of the. It is totally within the realm of possibility.
I will consider
when these people get fucking hungry, and they can't fucking buy clothes, and when the school year comes around, and they have to buy new clothes for all these little brats, and it's like.
But that's the lived reality for millions of Americans every year.
No, we have not,
and they continue to vote for Republicans. So,
but we haven't had it where it is year on year. Going to be, I don't know how much more. Some people say 20 to 40 and some say a higher shit, but that obvious, noticeable bump from his fucking tariffs, you don't get to keep that. These people were scared of the bad economy and things going back to the way that they were. If it's worse and there's no Democrats around, dude, these people are not loyal to him. They're loyal to the idea that they can pay less. If he is a dollar sign to them, he doesn't care. Like the whole like weirdo people that get online and shit like that. All of these Latinos, all these black people, they're voting that it's money. They want lower cost of things. It's just cash. They don't give a fuck about.
I think that
they think all politicians have these nasty sex lives. They think all politicians are liars. They just want cheaper fucking shit.
But I don't
want to watch a debate. I just want my shit to not cost so much.
I don't believe that any other Republican or MAGA Republican or whatever you want to call them could have been, done what Donald Trump has done. Right. And just made January the 6th happen. Left the office in disgrace, sold state secrets to the Russians and the Saudis. You could do that and get away with it. There is an undeniable, I feel, personality cult around Donald Trump, and it's maybe 33% of the electorate. It's not half of the electorate, but it's enough. It's enough absolute nutters who will die for Donald Trump. And I think you'll be surprised. You think that like people are voting rationally because they're like, oh, well, I want to pay less. And you're right. Like a lot of people do vote rationally, but there are a lot of people who vote irrationally because they're not really that asked about politics. They think it's just a Punch and Judy show. They just think it's like, world wrestling. They don't give a shit. And they hold anymore. Trump up on a pedestal. And I think that the idea that the people's lives will get so bad that they'll turn on him. We have not seen that in the UK with Brexit. No one's chased Boris Johnson up a tree and set fire to it. And Nigel Farage looks like he's going to become our next prime minister.
President. He's going to be your president. You're going to get rid of that parliament shit. You're going to have a president soon.
Well, but that's get rid of the king as well.
You're going to be our 53rd state.
Yeah. Yeah. 53rd. Oh my God.
Oh,
What
did you
after?
hear?
What?
Trump wants to make Canada the 51st and 52nd state. They want
And 52nd.
they want to split it down the middle so that there's a blue and a red state. The red would be the west, and then the east would be blue.
Fuck me. He's not all there, is he? But
And
yeah.
he was calling Justin Trudeau the governor. You could be the governor of Canada because you're like our 51st state.
But
Canada is pissed.
I'm gonna have
telling you.
I'm gonna have a wager with you. $100 that no matter what Trump does, his own party does not stand. Well, the Republican Party, which you just said isn't his party anyway, they won't stand up against him. They will not take him down using a 25th Amendment. They won't. They'll just let him do what he wants to do. Which most of the time will be playing golf, by the way. But when he's not playing golf, he'll be killing his political opponents.
I was talking about the 25th Amendment in a different context, but okay, I'll take that bet too. I don't care.
$100. I don't think they're going to turn
It'll cancel out our other bet, which I don't even remember what it was because neither one of us wrote it down.
Maybe we'll forget this one as well. You need to remind us in the chat.
We'll just keep a ledger going of the millions of dollars that we owe each other for our millions of bets. And again, the Republicans have to win elections.
Yeah.
They have to get money in donations to win their elections. Graham, I'm telling you right now, the country is being looted. The people have nothing.
Yes. This is the end game. Honestly, mate, you're absolutely right when you say this, and this is why I don't think what you call America is going to be around in a few years' time. I think you're going to get 250 years out of this thing, and then that's it. You'll come back to us, just like the song.
You think so? Trump's going to come up. Trump's going to come up to you then, because you said Trump's going to be in.
Oh no! Trump.
So you think Trump is going to go?
No, for whatever's left of the United States.
Okay. So the wild Florida man tribe is going to leave you alone. Graham, if this falls, you're gone too, bud.
What, the UK?
If the USA fails, you're doomed. You're all doomed. So laugh it up, fuzzball.
Why do you think that Europe would be doomed if the US is gone?
Because number one, the US is jumping out of NATO.
Yes, it's going to do that anyway. So.
And if Trump is as PP taped as we think he is, he'll fucking join forces with Russia and China, and y'all are cooked.
Well, we'll have to just start learning how to speak Chinese and Russian, I guess.
Y'all gonna be speaking.
But that's Trump's actions. That's Trump actions. That's not the USA failing. That's because of what specifically Trump pulling out of NATO. And teaming up with China and Russia. He's invited the president of China to the inauguration.
Imagine if Barack Obama did that. Imagine if Hillary Clinton did that.
Imagine if Obama's daughter was given $2 billion from the Saudi Arabians. Just imagine that.
Yo, you've been to China. You know how China fakes everything. Like they have copycats of everything, and patents are real big over there. Homegirl Ivanka got two dozen. I don't know. She got a bunch of patents. 6 weeks. I was like, in China, it's year. Oh, wow! For scarves, she was selling scarves. for like $60 or some shit. $60 scarves, and she got those in China right away. No problems. Right through the copyright office. 6 weeks.
Vendetta's
enriching.
Vendetta's saying, yeah, I can see an uprising from the people. It's going to be glorious. I don't know. I think people are just lazy. I think too many people are lazy for it to actually happen. And the CEOs are just going to try their best to protect themselves.
That's not going to work either.
Fortify the defenses.
That's not going to work either, because guess what? Your security workers have to go home too. Yeah. And they're going to be going home hungry. Like I'm telling.
Well, that's me. I was chatting with Rachel today. I was chatting with Rachel Harris, and she was saying, like, just basically, all these bunkers that these CEOs are going to. Someone had to build those fucking things. Someone had to program the access devices and things like that. Someone knows where the air vents are. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the apocalypse comes, Musk and Zuckerman and all these other twat bags, they're all as fucked as the rest of us because the
They're
people
gonna
who
be barbecue.
yeah, they're going to be like, oh, well, you pay me well. If money means nothing and I just need somewhere to stay for a few years while the heat dies down, and I know there's a bunker with some squishy a billionaire in there who's out of out of shape.
They're not ready for tribal America.
Yeah.
They're not built for it. They're not equipped for it. There's way too many. Like, if it was like, oh, 20% of the population is going to be really pissed and we have to protect ourselves from it. No, bitch. It's 85% of the population that you're trying to disenfranchise and starve. That is a bad idea. Yeah. So they will learn very quickly because, oh, by the way, shout out to the Amazon in New York who's going on strike on Christmas.
Oh, fantastic. Good on you, Amazon.
The whole plant is shutting down on Christmas.
There was a story that I heard about where there was a company in America where the CEO had basically stopped all the Christmas bonuses. So the entire staff of this company just left and went on strike. Just left. That's why they didn't even go on strike. They just resigned en masse. And so the CEO has no business now and no one to run the business. And
the corporate world is crazy.
What they're doing is they're sending in loads and loads of AI-generated CVs, resumes for the jobs. So they're just wasting his time. And what they're doing is
all of them.
They're making their own company, which is going to be run as a co-op, and like without a CEO, and they're taking all of the customers that the CEO had, and it's like, yes, mutiny! I promise you, mutiny. That's I don't think we're going to have a revolution, but a lot of mutinies like that, smart mutinies, is, I think, the way forward. Especially with these companies like Amazon that are just absolutely taking the piss.
Because at this point, it's almost like a Haiti situation in that there were so many slaves compared to slave masters on Haiti. It was easily overthrown. Like normally they say it's like 10 to 13 people. It was like 26 people to 1.
Yeah.
We're gonna just get you. Yeah, we're just gonna get you. Yeah, you can't get all of it. We're just gonna get. What are you gonna do? You have a fucking warehouse full of 10,000 people, and there's you and your team.
Yeah,
dude. I don't like. I think all millionaires and billionaires should be told to keep their money in gold bars and some sort of safe in their basement, so that when we need to pillage, it is easy to just take
pillage.
But now instead of like going and like selling all these cyber trucks, and now instead of that, we can just take the gold bar out of your castle and put it one bar into our castle and one bar into their castle.
Yeah,
it's gonna. They don't like. There will be a great swinging of the pendulum for this all to find equilibrium. It is going to be a turbulent process, but it will find its center.
You're wonderfully optimistic. I like having these conversations with you, Mikey, because you cheer me up a bit because I'm quite despondent about the whole situation. And you're like, it's going to be shit for a bit, but then it'll be fine.
Well, because I have a way of processing information of what will happen sequentially. They can't sustain the level of pain that they're going to be bringing onto the American people, whether it's psychologically, financially, like they're going to be damaging the voting populace. If it's damaging, and you can't blame the migrants, they're gone. You can't blame the Democrats, they don't control anything.
Yeah,
you can't blame who are they going to blame? But hold on. Who are they going to blame that people are going to believe? Because this is the problem with being the front man. He said, I'm doing it. The groceries are going down.
Yeah, but he said he was going to bring in tariffs. So he's going to just turn around and go, I said I was going to do that, and you voted for me. So I have a mandate to bring in tariffs.
And he's in
Didn't say he was going to make your groceries cheaper.
But he's like, the groceries. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the groceries. We're going to try though.
He said that. Yeah.
And then at the same time that fucking, I'll try. As soon as I came out, everybody said, oh no. So that, oh no, that wave has started. It was quiet during Thanksgiving and it's been quiet now.
Was that
They
not because
know.
people just didn't want to get into huge rows with their family who voted for Trump?
No, because they started reading. They started reading the post mortem on all the stuff that they
Okay,
voted for, and they're like,
we,
"Oh
we've got to
no!"
wrap up soon, but Sarah's made a
Yeah.
very good point. They'll blame the trans people. I mean, Trump has already made it
There's only
very
like
clear.
30 of them. There's only there's like 14 trans people in the whole of America, and you want to blame like
Yeah, a
shut
minority
up.
of a minority.
It's like
Yeah.
0.5% of the population.
Yeah, but that's a perfect scapegoat, isn't it? Because no one, most people aren't friends with a trans person,
Hey,
and therefore they feel like they can get away with being
they're
horrible to them.
they're until trans porn stops being like the top thing in all these red states, then you can stop bitching. But until you're because Pornhub does a report every
Yep.
year. You guys go check. You can
Yep.
Google it, and they have like the top categories, porn searches by state. Go look at the red states. And go look at what they're so upset about and what's so disgusting to them.
If you're lucky enough to have a VPN, if you're going to look at porn, please make it seem like you're in Alabama before you look at that porn. Especially if it's particularly fucked up. But yes.
I'm just saying they got a lot of complaints about something that they're not watching.
Well, that's the joke, isn't it? If we ever do an all trans version of the Father Ted racism episode, at the end they'll go down into the basement of the priest who's died, who was incredibly transphobic, and yes, it's just full of trans porn. That would be the funny ending to the show, and I'm sure Graham Linehan will get on board with that because he's a massive transphobe himself, who probably has a hard drive full of trans porn. Anyway.
Vic Stryker in the chat. Shout out, Tim. I can't wait for the series finale of America. Tune in next week, guys.
Tune in next week
for the 45th version. This is a multi-episode finale. So.
It is. It just. Oh my god.
Someone will sit on the Iron Throne.
Yeah. The Super Tiny saying, yes, stuff it. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah, but we can still comment on it like Waldorf and Statler, is it? In the Muppet Show. We can just throw peanuts from the sidelines, just throw some popcorn.
Well, I'm in it. Like
yes, you are. You're our roving reporter in America. You're broadcasting from the heart of America.
And it's different this time because this time around I had to have the conversation with the wife. If they're going after people for bad mouthing Trump and shit like that,
yeah.
Do you want me to keep doing the show?
Yeah. And
she's like, we'll play it by ear. So until a couple of threats come in, we're still going.
Okay,
but
and
that's where we're
if
at.
anything like that does happen, then we become animated characters. How good's your London accent? Can you just try a little bit?
I'll do Dick Van Dyke.
Go on, do you Dick Van Dyke? Go on.
Oh, the Mary Poppins step in time.
That's good enough. That is good enough. If it was good enough for Dick Van Dyke, it's good enough for you, Mikey. So we'll have animated characters. You do that voice, and we'll just pretend to be British, and then they can't get to us.
I mean, all I got to do to be safe is just go to the hood because all these racists are afraid of black people.
Yes.
So,
yeah, they are.
I'm not worried about us black folk because white folk just work around us and don't make eye contact.
That is one of the weird things in America is the level of racism there that is still prevalent, and we have pockets of racism in the UK, but at least it's that sort of thing of people go, I'm not a racist, but, and then they'll see something racist. Like there's a little tiny flicker in the back of the head going, being a racist isn't very nice. Being a racist isn't a good thing. But I don't
want them to think that I'm a racist.
Yeah, so many Americans that I've met are just being like casually racist and just drop things into conversation. You're like, fucking hell, what did you just say? And it's really shocking. It's really, it's amazing how a country that prides itself on being a so-called melting pot has systematically excluded black people for 250 years.
But that's the left wing framing. The right wing framing is too many foreigners. Like
too many foreigners.
Foreigners. Too many foreigners.
Yeah. While they brag about their Irish heritage, yeah.
Right. But I'm supposed to be here because of Ellis Island. Never mind everyone else coming from the southern border. They didn't go to Ellis Island. So I guess if all the Mexicans and the Guatemalans and the Nicaraguans, if they all got into a boat and went to Ellis Island, I guess it would be okay. If they just took an extra long boat trip to New York like all these other white motherfuckers grandparents did, all these Polish motherfuckers in Chicago, the German motherfuckers, the Dutch, the Irish, all these motherfuckers came to Ellis Island or just came right over, and it was cool. So,
didn't one of Trump's goons want to change the words to the poem, the Statue of Liberty poem? You know, give me your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Didn't he change it? Didn't he want to change? This is a few years ago now, so I might just be hallucinating this, but I'm sure they changed the poem. They're like, give me your huddled masses, and I'll tell them to fuck off.
Yeah,
we're full.
We're just gonna MAGA. Just scrape it all off and just carve in MAGA.
Yeah. Anyway,
their tribe will go hungry and they'll come back to their senses.
Well, bumper episode of Stateside. Thank you so much, Mikey. We'll get back to it. We haven't even touched on crypto. We haven't touched on Bitcoin and what that's going to do to the American Federal Reserve. Let's talk about that next time. Guess
what? We ain't going to have no money anyway. So we ain't going to be able to do it because he's about to fucking bankrupt us anyway. We're going to have no tax money because ain't nobody going to be paying no tax. So he ain't going to be able to do it. There you go.
But the thing is, Trump doesn't make money through people. If you think about it, he doesn't sell very much of the shit he makes, you know, whether it's NFTs or stakes or golf courses. They all, or even a casino. He's a guy who can bankrupt a casino. He doesn't make money out of people. He makes money out of banks. He makes money by going to banks and saying, lend me some money. And they go, okay, then, Mr. Trump, here's a load of money. And then he uses that money to get more money.
He hasn't been able to do that for 10 years.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He'll be bankrolled by the Saudis for the rest of his life.
That's why he had like all these Deutsche Bank accounts and all that shit. He's been locked out of American lenders forever. He has been trying to scrumble money together ever since he tried to buy the New York Giants, back in the 80s. Like he's been broke trying to get to the level of a mogul this whole time. So everyone who thinks he's a fucking billionaire, check your fucking privilege.
He's not a billionaire, but he can't.
Never been
but he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be for what he wants to do in life. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
But that's important for him to say, and it's important for everybody to know. Yeah. He never had $1 billion. He's always lied about it.
Do you know what? It's a bit of a sliding doors moment, this, isn't it? Because there's another reality in which Kamala won the election and Elon Musk is now in jail and Trump is facing trial.
She probably would have fucking put him on the ticket with her fucking traitorous ass. She had Liz Cheney up there. I'm surprised Elon didn't go up there. Why not?
Well, because Elon, all the billionaires wanted Trump to win.
We're not going back. Yeah, like I could have saw his little doughboy ass up on stage jumping around. They'll take anybody, dude. They'll take anybody's money. Like I'm so beyond fucking done with the Democrats and the Republicans. Like there is a progressive underbelly of this country that is sick of the bullshit. We are structuring. We are forming. It's coming. Okay. Because it's not working. It's just not working.
I know. The two-state system in America has been a problem for a long time because they set it up in such a way that they'll always be in power, and you're not going to get a third candidate. And when you do get a third candidate, all they do is run as a spoiler.
Well, we tried to hijack the Democratic Party. The progressives did with Bernie, who's an independent. So if we got to get independents up there, then that's what it is. And we can have a three-way race because
you know what I think? No, I don't think you're going to have any more elections, mate. So
I heard you the first 30 times you said it. The $1.5 billion that Kamala raised, gone in a month.
Yeah.
To where? To who? And we got all these other races that we got to finance, and there's no money because we spent all of it
on little flags. On little flags that said Kamala.
Oh, okay. No, to the media companies taking $230 million at a clip. Yeah. No, we want some accounting done. This is exactly why we didn't fucking like the same corporate element. The grifting element is the same in the right and the left. The on top social issues might be different, but that underbelly of just taking money from APAC, taking money from big pharma, taking money from oil and gas.
I think that's more of a problem. I think that's more of a problem than the political system as a whole. But I would rather see a parliamentary system in America rather than a presidential system. I think a presidential system that's been exported by America around the world, in too many cases, it's wound up in an undemocratic situation, one way or another.
I think it would work so much better just with no electoral college.
Vendetta saying AOC will go independent. Do you think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will go independent?
Yeah, maybe. I hope she runs. Maybe not this next coming one, but maybe the one after that. I hope she runs.
For president.
As far as
for president.
Yeah. Or I would my secret sleeper ticket. This is dream. This is hopium, 20 milligrams right here.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart, AOC.
Yeah.
Dude, her being the president of the Senate. Ooh, they would be so pissed.
If they survive the next 4 years, we will see. We will see.
We're more resilient than you guys, so just you know,
what we held our own against the Nazis while you guys were fannying about in Hawaii on holiday till someone woke you up by dropping bombs on you.
That wasn't even our state. We were occupying Hawaii at that time.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
But
you still are, really.
For everyone who thinks that Pearl Harbor happened on American soil, that's not true. That's not true.
It was a U.S.
occupied
territory.
Hawaii. It was an army base or a navy base.
Yeah. It wasn't till 1948, was it? 58.
Yeah.
58.
54, maybe.
So if you want to be pedantic when you're watching an old American war film, if they've got a 50-star flag, that's wrong. It should be a 48.
That is wrong.
Star flag, because it shouldn't have Alaska or Hawaii. The freak states.
Don't worry, we're gonna have 53 stars pretty soon. Graham.
53.
We're gonna take your little island too.
I don't.
The empire the Trump empire is coming for your country next, Graham. You're next on the chopping block.
Oh, really?
You guys got no one to trade with, so now you're just gonna have us.
Well,
and
we
Trump.
haven't been successfully invaded for about 1,000 years, so good luck. Good luck, America.
You better.
Good luck.
Mr. Starmer better come over here and kiss the onion ring, or else them tariffs are coming in.
Anyway, on that bum note,
kiss it like Rudy did. Go on. Ugh. That poor guy. He can't even get a cab.
I know. It's a bit pathetic, isn't it?
It's
Beyond
so
pathetic.
funny.
Beyond pathetic. Anyway, right. Listen, we've got to leave it there. We've gone way over time. This is a bumper fucking show because we've got those super chats. But that's fine. That's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right.
You guys like my spring break?
Brilliant. Yeah. Nice.
Back when there was music on television?
Yeah, on music television, they did actually show music rather than rich kids being twats. Yeah. Now it's the rich kids being rich kids being twats channel now. Yes. Anyway, and Super Tiny says Russia sold Alaska like it was a ranch in Montana, or like London Bridge, which be sold to Lake Havasu, I think, somewhere. Anyway, right, we didn't sell it to the lake. Anyway, so thank you very much to Mikey. Thanks very much to everyone who contributed their thoughts in the chat, even the people who were mean. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 9:30 for Morning Brew, and we'll be talking about what's going on in the UK. I'm going to be talking about Angela Rayner and the local government acts that are going to come in and what it means for you, this devolution revolution. And until then, I'll say, wow. We got a super chat. George, I've got 2 super chats. Thank you very much. It's a good job I mentioned it. Thank you very much, Joni. Here's one for the road. Thank you very much for that. And George, very quickly, because it's a super chat, so we have to answer this. What does Mikey think about Stephen Miller? Thank you very much, George.
This dude has been a fucking leper since college. Like, he was getting kicked out of college groups. Like, we've been making fun of this dude for 15 years. And the fact that he has risen, he has failed upward to this level is like, it is staggering that this dude manages to get on a stage and say, America for Americans. Kermit the Frog, if you don't sit your ugly ass the fuck down. Like, I am so sick of Stephen Miller. He is a big part of Trump's dumb brain. Like, Trump can't really find any ideas himself. He needs his Stevens to do it for him. Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon. Steve
Yeah.
Bannon's fresh out of jail, so he'll be tottering over there soon enough. But he needs the two halves of his idiot racist brain. Fuck Stephen Miller. What a piece of trash.
Well, on that bombshell, fuck Stephen Miller, piece of trash. I'll say thank you, and until next time, hello.
Go subscribe to the Bin Podcast.
Welcome, and subscribe to the Bin Podcast.
Yeah,
Do it. I'll put the link in the description. If you give me the link, give me the link on WhatsApp, and I'll put it on the description now.
Will do.
Yeah. Until then, bye-bye. Bye.